to pay for your crimes, Horst, you evil villain. But you forget, Horst. I am the wielder of the Omnitrix. I have infinite aliens at my hand. I am the hero with the alien machine on my hand, and I will defeat you. Now let's see here. Stupid thing. I wanna... Well, it appears that my Omnitrix is not working at the moment, so I believe we'll have to put this on hold until I figure out how to fix this thing. Can we cut to something else? This is actually really embarrassing. Hey everybody, Sol here. I have only one rule here. If it's animated, I'll comment on it. What's the one dream you had as a kid? Maybe it was to be an astronaut, or to own all the Legos in the world, or to have daddy stop hitting mommy. That's not funny. Nah, who are we kidding? All of our dreams as kids was to be a superhero. You could try to deny it, but I know it's true. Flying around, beating up baddies with any kind of superpowers we fancied was a fucking awesome dream to have as a kid, and I know we all had it. But we were kids, you know, we didn't have access to nuclear plants, or radioactive spiders, or vicious muggers, or vast amounts of wealth, so we had to turn to cartoons, or our imagination, to get that kind of wish fulfillment. And nowhere was that wish fulfillment more evident than in this cartoon series, Ben 10. Alright, so I know you know it's time for a look into Sol's history book here. So let's take a look. Okay, so Ben 10 was created by a group of people known as Man of Action. The group consisted of Duncan Rouleau, Joe Casey, Joe Kelly, and Steven T. Seagal, and it was produced by Cartoon Network Studios. It first aired on Cartoon Network in 2005 and had 4 seasons consisting of 52 episodes before it came to an end in 2008. The show was succeeded by Ben 10 Alien Force, but that's a story for another time. So anyway, I'm gonna try and fix this fucked up Omnitrix, but for the meantime, let's take a good look at Ben 10. Ben 10's plot is actually a little bit too big for its own Velcro shoes, if you ask me. The plot of Ben 10 started when an alien device did what it did, and stuck itself upon his wrist with secrets that it hid. Now he's got superpowers, he's no ordinary kid. Okay, well, all joking aside though, Ben Tennyson is a 10-year-old kid who, while on a cross-country trip across America with his grandpa Max Tennyson and his cousin Gwen Tennyson, accidentally stumbles across a piece of alien technology called the Omnitrix, which affixes itself to Ben's wrist, and allows whoever wears it to transform into a myriad of different alien species, though Ben only starts out with 10 aliens. The Omnitrix's capacity to be used as a weapon makes it the target of the space villain Vilgax, and causes Ben to make some dangerous enemies along the way as well. So, this plot is actually fairly engaging, surprisingly. It's part of the reason why I actually started watching it in the first place. The execution of that plot? Not so much. But hey, the idea of fucking around as a bunch of different aliens who all happen to have abilities useful to a superhero? Sign my ass up! Now, with the strength and plot that this series has, it certainly needs to bulk up on the character aspect. For all the characters introduced in this series, almost none of them are very interesting. The main protagonist and Naruto wannabe is Ben Tennyson, wielder of the Omnitrix and savior of the Earth. Ben seems to really enjoy being a hero and taking many liberties with the aliens he turns into, to the point of him being completely obnoxious and irritating about it. He's always rude and mocking to his cousin Gwen, but deep down he cares about her and wants to keep her safe from the chaos he and his Omnitrix invite. Regardless, Ben does always save the day and ensure the safety of mankind, but the destruction he causes is on a Michael Bayian level. I suppose, given his age, Ben isn't the worst guy to have as a protagonist, but binge-watching his prepubescent antics can get on your nerves quite a bit. I guess what irks me about Ben the most is just that he's always getting his ass handed to him wherever he goes, but he never sustains any injuries from all the shit he goes through. You might say it's because it's a kids show, and yeah, I totally agree with you. but that doesn't stop it from making any and all violence directed towards Ben completely pointless and bereft of suspense. Before I'll move on, I'll just quickly list off the aliens that Ben's Omnitrix can change him into. Wildmutt, a dog-like Vulpmancer with acute senses but no ability to talk. Forearms, a Tetramand who's extremely physically adept, i.e. can punch really hard. Heat Blast, a Pyronite with the ability to create, control, and absorb flames. Accelerate, a Kineseleran who can run fast as shit and stop even faster. Diamond Head, a Petrosapien with a diamond-hard body who can manipulate crystals. Grey Matter, a Galvan with the amazing ability of being really short and intelligent. Stinkfly, a Lepidopteran who can fly and puke from his eyes. Upgrade, a galvanic mechamorph who can merge with technology and badassify it. Ripjaws, a Piscis Volan? I think I'm saying that right. Who can swim like a fish and bite through steel. And Ghost Freak, an Ectoneurite who's basically Danny Phantom in a straitjacket. There's more aliens that get added to his repertoire later on, but I really don't feel like sitting here and listing off every single one. Basically, all you need to know is each one has some kind of ability that helps Ben in some way. The other Tennysons are a wee bit better than Ben, but not by much. Gwen Tennyson is Ben's cousin, and is basically better than him in every way, but she doesn't have the Omnitrix, so fuck her, I guess. Gwen is also snarky and rude a lot of the time, but she has a lot more sense than Ben does, making her the thinker of the two. In a way, Gwen acts a lot like how adult males think young females act, and again, she's not the worst portrayal of a girl her age, but she's still pretty annoying, especially when she starts using magic. Yeah, you heard me. She starts using magic, people. Just out of nowhere. Magic! Now, Max Tennyson is Ben and Gwen's kindly grandfather, and desires nothing more than have a peaceful summer traveling cross-country with his grandchildren. Too bad though, because the aliens are after Ben all day, every day. Max is okay, I guess. At first he starts out rather detached from Ben's aliens shenanigans, but later on it's revealed that Max himself was an alien fighter with a team of law enforcers called the Plumbers, probably because they deal with a lot of shit. I enjoy Max just because he's not a bratty kid, but it just seems unfeasible to me that this 60-something-year-old man can take as many beatings as he does and not be blown to shreds. And what would this series be without villains? Well, strap yourself in, because there's a lot of them here. The main series villain is Vilgax, a Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean-esque alien who strives to capture the Omnitrix from Ben and use it to take over the universe. My question with every villain who wants to take over the universe is just, why? Why do you want to do that? What? What is it, for the street cred or something? Sorry, getting sidetracked here. Anyway, Vilgax's design far outweighs his actual character in terms of strength, and honestly, for the main villain, there's hardly a thing to say about him. The secondary villain is Kevin Levin, but his villain name is Kevin E. Levin. Funny. Kevin is an 11-year-old delinquent with the ability to absorb energy and utilize it for his own needs. After Kevin absorbs the energy from the Omnitrix, he becomes a completely fucked up abomination of scrambled alien DNA and swears revenge against Ben. All I'll say about Kevin is just that it's too bad he doesn't stay human for long, because I actually kind of enjoy his character before he becomes all clusterfucky. Afterwards, he just becomes your typical, "I'll get you for this, Ben Tennyson!" kind of villain. The other smaller-time villains include Ghost Freak, one of Ben's Omnitrix aliens who escapes the Omnitrix and wants to destroy the world or something. Two magic wielders, Hex and Charmcaster, who want to take over the world. Dr. Animo, a crazy scientist with a sick predilection for mutating animals to create a new world order. The Forever Knights, a group of LARPs enthusiasts who aspire to rid the world of aliens while hypocritically using alien tech to do so. And a bunch of other, even smaller-time guys who aren't even worth mentioning. The only very slightly interesting here is Ghost Freak, but only in a certain episode that I'll talk about later. Patience, people. Okay, well, while I see if this 2-bit piece of hardware will actually let me change into the aliens I want to, or, you know, any at all, let's take a look at the good things in this series as well. Oh god, oh god! Oh god! Oh! Okay. I finally got this thing off. Oh god. So, the good thing that this series. Let's take a look. I'd say that one of the greatest strengths this series has is in its character and background designs. I'm not sure what it is, but I find that everything and everyone in this show just looks really appealing to me. I'm also a big fan of the various settings that the episodes take place in, even if I wouldn't want to live in this particular animated universe. This is one of those worlds in a cartoon where shit is just constantly going wrong, like literally all the time. I like the settings that the fights take place in, like you can see all of the American landmarks and everything that Ben fights at, and it's just kinda neat. It's not just generic cityscapes or generic canyons and stuff like that, they're actually real places that you could see in real life. And it's so hilarious just to see Ben blow up Mount Rushmore. I don't know why, it's just really funny. And I suppose that it's undeniable that this show does do a really good job of getting you pumped up. Unfortunately, Ben and his family are those type of characters who suffer from infallible recurring character syndrome, meaning that no matter what happens to them violence-wise, their pain is never permanent. But still, watching Ben put the hurt down on his enemies and causing untold billions of dollars in property damage is quite fun. Sorry, just looking for my receipt for this stupid Omnitrix here. While I'm doing that, let's take a look at the bad things, too. To start off with, I don't give a shit. Literally, I don't care what happens to Ben, his family, or his world, or even his whole goddamn universe. This is one of those shows that I like to call a brick wall series, where the heroes are constantly faced with conflicts akin to brick walls that get increasingly bigger and thicker as the series progresses. But the heroes always find some way to bust through the wall, even if said wall makes themselves the most powerful thing in the universe, or something like that. How are you supposed to care about a universe that's being taken over by baddies every other Tuesday? I get that the point of that is that you're just supposed to enjoy the ride with all the action and everything, but after a while it just becomes so mindless when there's no suspense or threat behind anything that happens. Plus, these characters are just so obnoxious. They reek of boardroom discussions, and most of the time their dialogue is akin to a dentist drill to the eardrums. I mean, to be fair, I've seen a hell of a lot worse characters, but what irritates me the most is just that I want to care about these characters and what they do. The plot alone makes me want to care, because truth be told, Ben does have quite a huge burden shoved onto him at quite a young age, becoming a hero and saving the world from baddies who want Ben and his Omnitrix. That's an interesting concept. Too bad it's never touched upon once. Ben is basically infallible despite being a stupid, stubborn brat. Even when the Omnitrix is fucking up or picking the wrong aliens, it doesn't matter, because no matter what alien he picks, he always gets the job done. Hurrahs for the world, but yawns for me. Ha! Found the receipt. Okay, so before I give that shopkeeper a piece of my mind, let's go through my least favorite and my favorite episodes from this series. Let's make this quick here. My least favorite episode, hands down, is Gwen 10. This episode takes place in an alternate timeline, and that's basically your cue to turn off your brain for the next 20 minutes. Well, in this episode, Gwen finds the Omnitrix instead of Ben, and basically relives the whole first episode, but the aliens have titties, and Gwen turns out to be a better hero than Ben. Why is this episode my least favorite? Because I already said it, it doesn't matter. It's just an alternate version of an episode I already watched, so who cares? Moving on. Now, if you have seen this series, I'm sure the majority of you are going to agree with my choice for favorite. And that episode is Ghost Freaked Out. In this episode, Ben starts to have visions of his alien Ghost Freak who demands to be set free from the Omnitrix. When Ben accidentally frees him, Ghost Freak then tries to possess Ben and take the Omnitrix for his own, threatening the many innocent lives that surround him. This episode is my favorite just because it shows that not everything in the Ben 10 universe works out in Ben's favor. Like I said, Ben is basically the center of the universe when it comes to all things, and he can do no wrong. But this episode proves, if only for this one instance, that Ben made a mistake and he has to pay for it. Just that fact alone makes this episode stand above the rest. Ben 10 is a series that puts a good foot forward, but unfortunately that foot rests just above a cliff. I mean, it's not so far over the cliff that it's plummeting into the chasm of shittiness or anything, but it's undeniable, it's got that foot over there. If it had just gone with its plot and been a bit more focused on the actual story and everything instead of the merchandising aspect of it, it probably would have been a lot better. Maybe even awesome. But unfortunately, it's just decent. I give Ben 10. Two eyes out of 5. Yeah, 2 eyes out of 5. Which means it's decent. I mean, yeah, it's decent. I don't really have too much to say other than just it's decent. It's got some good things about it, but I would say that the majority of things in it, if you're not heavily nostalgic about it, or you're just a young kid, it's just decent. So, Ben 10. Is it watchable? If you're young, yeah. If you're my age, probably not. If you're drunk or you're high or something, I would assume so. Is it enjoyable? Well, if you mean just ball-bustingly high-paced, testone pumping, fucking up action right exploding into your face, then sure. If you're looking for, well, decent characters, a good story, some good pacing, some pretty much anything except good action and interesting alien characters, not really. Is it memorable? Well, you don't need to ask me that, because the Ben 10 franchise is still going on. Technically speaking, it's still going on today. But we're gonna continue speaking about the Ben 10 franchise, but for now, I'm gonna go return this fucking Omnitrix. Hey everybody, thanks a bunch for watching my review of Ben 10. Don't forget, part 2 will be up next week. If you want to see more of my videos, you can click the annotations playing in the video right now, or you can hit subscribe to follow my channel because I always appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate every subscriber I get. If you want to check out my various social media platforms, you can click the links in the description to check out my Twitch channel, Twitter page, and my Facebook fan page. Have an idea for an animated series or movie you want me to comment on? You can leave me a message in the YouTube comments, you can leave me a message on any one of my social media platforms, or you can name a constellation after your suggestion. You can, tell me? Yeah. No, that's not funny, but basically, just tell me in any way you can think of, and I will consider every suggestion that I get. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all next week for part 2 of this big Ben 10-a-thon.